Hello fellow builders, it's great to have you back for another video from our Let's Play series, Twisted Dunes on the Oasis map. I'm your builder, New Build Cities, NBC for short, and in this video I'm going to showcase area tiles 3 and 4 of our city. So let's take a look. Those would be these two area tiles here. Let's dive in. When we first opened up tiles 3 and 4, I destroyed pretty much most of the highway. The highway coming into our starter tile, the 4-way clover leaf interchange, as well as the highway running through it. I wanted to do that to give myself a little bit more room and just reorient the city a little bit better, because I did not want a highway, and especially the clover leaf, right in the middle of the city. At the time, it was right where downtown was going to go. And so I ended up running this 4-lane road here and then connecting it to the moved highway up against the tiered retention wall where the mountain is. Once the highway was moved around a little bit and we had some space, we went ahead and put in the university campus from the campus DLC. That's up on here on this like tiered shelf up against the hills. We added a baseball stadium with some parking lots. Then I went ahead and zoned in some high density North American style. I made them historical once they turned into the brick buildings, which typically is level 1 anyway, to create some on-campus housing. And I chose the brick because a lot of the buildings you get with the university have brick as well. We built the campus around these ruins that came with the map, as well as we went ahead and put in a waterfall and water feature. Let's go ahead and move on to the European and European suburban area. So the next kind of stage was to bring some more residents into the city. We built this high density European area. I was selective in which buildings I allowed to come in and made historical, as well as I placed a bunch of stuff inside the buildings to create like inner courtyards. And then we added the cathedral and the black trash cans from the city park to expand our cemetery. I was also particular with the modern city high density commercial zoning to create these large commercial buildings, as well as using the organic and local produce zoning to create the parking lots. Added some statues and plazas from our campus and parklight DLC. Added some flower beds, all that good stuff, just to highlight the train station. Added some office in here as well. I also made sure people could move between tile 1 and tile 3 using some padding to get across the railroad. And then we continued the European suburbia up towards the edge of the map. Also created this concrete chute using the keys. So it looks like the train glides along the concrete, which is pretty cool. And there's biking all throughout the city, including a nice little bike path that's fenced off from the railroad track using the airport DLC fencing, and allows folks to kind of go into our campus by bike. Then we went ahead and built a beautiful self-sufficient area. And here I used the winter market as well as the fish market. And I was particular with the local and organic produce zoning to create a bunch of like flea market-y type stands to go with the winter market. And in this neighborhood, created a handful of apartment complexes that came out really nice using the high density self-sufficient buildings, locking them down at level 1 or level 2. And a lot of these apartment complexes have plazas or just hand detailed areas to create focal points, central areas like this one here, just to add that nice aesthetic touch. Let's go take a look at that fire truck. I have the vehicles content creator pack. I just love that ladder engine. It's cool. And in this little apartment complex, we have a nice little path. Within the self-sufficient area, we have a beautiful high school and elementary school, both from the Green Cities DLC. Added parking, the typical courts behind it, as well as a gymnasium. A couple parklight DLC assets back here as well. In front, we have a few of the plazas, a statue from our campus, And even in front of that, a few fountains, gazebos, and statues from the prop section. That looks really nice. Really happy with that. And the next thing we built on the other side of the street was the government center, and used a lot of university buildings, a couple unique buildings, courthouse, Office of Oppression, Clock Tower, Amsterdam Palace, to really make this area look nice. Did a couple tricks with the road to allow for fencing and placing some of the flower beds in front of the buildings. And then I spent a lot of time working on downtown. That was probably the longest video of the series in the Let's Play. But it's well worth the look if you really want to see how the downtown was built. We got a nice fishing harbor. Use some of the fishing assets from Sunset Harbor DLC, as well as specific zoning on the yellow industry to get some of the crate buildings and warehouse type buildings in here. Then on the other side of the train track, we have a nice kind of commercial area with another fish market, and with being particular with the organic and local produce zoning. Add some fencing and some pathing. You can see the building's actually off the road. You got like a little driveway to it. We did that in quite a few spots in this city. Our downtown skyline looks real nice. And along our lake, we have the zoo. Just to add a nice green space within our downtown area. I think downtown has every residential type of zoning you can do, except maybe the European suburbia. We continue the high density European theme into downtown. The old street market building is in here, and it blends in really nicely with the high density European style commercial buildings. There's a bunch of other unique buildings in here, parking lots, modern city. And then we have a uniform residential neighborhood adjacent to our downtown. These are 3x2 level 1 vanilla buildings. Then on the opposite side of our downtown is another neighborhood that's mostly like the North American, called vanilla style buildings, up against the highway. And I also created a natural reserve park back here. We have a little beach with a lifeguard stand and some beach chairs. And then next to that is a really nice log cabin resort along the river. And there was a water feature up in the mountains that helps feed into there. There's a campground here as well. Let's go ahead and do one more pass of tiles 3 and 4. And let's just get an overview shot of the 2 tiles and the road layout. And I think that's going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed the quick history of tiles 3 and 4. And until the next time, I wish you mayors the best and brightest cities that you can build. And as always, happy building.